I think just as his mentor, Jeffrey Archer, was brought down by perjury, so too, really, Nadim Zahawi has been brought down by his lies and his bluster. And that simply doesn't work in today's world because people can look into it and see that it simply holds no weight. So, Dan Needle, who was threatened with legal action, Simon Walters, the person who first broke the story in The Independent. These people are very brave to have persisted with this investigation for 6 months. 6 months! When this whole thing, as Simon points out, could have been sorted out in 6 weeks with Nadim Zahawi's resignation. But, I mean, listen to some of the things which Zahawi said. He said that this investigation was smears that have falsely claimed that the Serious Fraud Office, the National Crime Agency, and HMRC are looking into me. Let me be absolutely clear. I am not aware of this. I have not been told that this is the case. But it's true. Laurie Magnus accused Zahawi of making an untrue public statement and criticised Zahawi for not correcting it until earlier this month. This is outrageous from somebody who was holding one of the major offices of state in our country. Outrageous, and yet at the same time, we've got a government and a parliament which penalises whistleblowers at every direction. It is time now for that whistleblowing culture to be respected. And I think it's time to reopen some of the cases, particularly in the NHS, those people who have blown whistles about corruption at the centre of the NHS. Now, I will be writing to my MP with that in mind because it is utterly abhorrent and unthinkable that a government that has just been caught with its trousers down should be able to hold out against people of integrity and honesty who have been literally pilloried for months, if not years, simply because they told the truth. I think we can even look at people like John Nicholson, the MP, the SNP MP, who queried whether Nadine Dorries deserved a peerage after what appeared to be deceit in front of a parliamentary committee. And instead of having a serious hearing, instead of being taken seriously, he was attacked by the Speaker of the House of Commons for revealing private contents of a letter that was sent to him against Commons methodology. Something that came as a surprise to him, I suspect. But it's that idea that that lawyers can threaten people like Dan Needle and say, oh, you mustn't say anything about this. This is a private threat, never to be revealed. This is a sort of thuggery that stops truth. And it needs to stop. It needs to be exposed for what it is. It is bullying. And it is wrong. So Zahawi's big defence is that the investigation into him was inaccurate or unfair, complete rubbish. It was absolutely accurate, absolutely fair. He said it's very sad that such smears should be circulated, and sadder still that they have been published. But it's true. You know, Sir Laurie said, I consider that an individual subject to the HMRC process faced by Mr. Zahawi should have understood that they were under investigation by HMRC and that this was a serious matter, particularly as Zahawi became the Chancellor of the Exchequer. He was responsible for all this. If anybody should understand that there was a serious investigation going on, it's somebody who wanted to be, accepted to be, and was the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and also wanted to be Prime Minister. If you don't understand these things, then, well, you know, what sort of bullying can you put out to the rest of the country and claim that the rest of the country needs to understand what's going on? It's extraordinary. He claims ignorance. Extraordinary, and then expects everybody else not to have ignorance. This is hypocrisy at the heart of our government. It sets an example for the rest of us. I think any attempt by HMRC to prosecute anybody this year must be met with laughter and derision in the face of Nadhim Zahawi's contempt for basic public accountability, for basic dignity, for basic integrity, and for our government's support of this man. This man should no longer be an MP. This man should no longer have the benefit of any doubt at all. He should be drummed out of public life immediately. Because it's not simply that he's done something wrong. It's that he was in charge. He was in charge. He was the person responsible. And he has done something wrong. An egregious offence. And he's tried to smear other people at the same time. He's tried to threaten others. It's just wrong. And we think back to Jeremy Hunt's dictum. Delay, deny. I can't remember what it is now. But I'm sure we'll dig it out shortly.